on Spec Vs Wreck. Episode 2, we have Giga, number 1, cover B, versus Astro City, number 1. Who will come out on top this week? Tune in to find out. Crazy. Well, hello and thanks again for tuning into Spec Vs Wreck episode 2. Well, I'll take a spec, a recently published comic that's currently being promoted by the online comic community, and then compared it against the Wreck, an older issue that's still cheap, but one that I think will increase in value, probably even more than the spec. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just an old guy with too many comics in my basement, but I live by the simple credo that I only buy comics that I plan on keeping. Okay, here again, once are the rules for Spec Vs Wreck. I'll purchase a spec comic, in this case Giga number 1, cover B, and I'll compare it against the Wreck. The Wreck, I have to be able to find it on eBay as a buy it now in near mint or at least very fine, basically for 20 American dollars or less. You know, at one point the Wreck was a spec. Maybe it hasn't lived up to its full potential. We'll see how it goes, but in the coming months I will compare how my picks plan out, and we'll see what kind of speculator I am. So let's get ready to rumble here. In corner number 1, as I mentioned, we have Giga number 1. And I went all in on this issue. I also bought the David Mack 1 in 15 variant. Has some definite Metropolis vibes to it. I thought it was pretty cool. Quite a lovely color. But I actually like this one more. You can't really see it very well, but there's a little black tag on the bottom here that says honoring Herb Trimpe. Do you know why it says that? I'll give you a hint. This cover is an homage. If you compare this cover to the 1979 cover of Marvel's Shogun Warriors number 1, you'll find that the Shogun Warriors cover was by, you guessed it, Herb Trimpe. And that's a touch of class right there by Mr. Gooden and Mr. Daniel for sure, that they reference such an iconic cover. The other reason I wanted to pick up Giga was because author Alex Paknadel is putting forward something brand new here, and I've always thought it's important to support new ideas. Especially in comics. Let's face it, we get a lot of the same old based on popular characters, so when something new and different comes out, it's it's good to help support it. So the premise of humanity living within and worshipping giant lifeless mecha is innovative. Now, normally, I'm not much of a giant mecha or Transformers kind of guy, but the world of Giga was just so unique and rife with possibilities that there is a lot to be excited about, so the hype is justified. But how will it play out in the years to come? Will the comics be optioned? Will we see Giga on the big screen? Is this the Pacific Rim of the distant future? Who knows? But what to compare such an original work against? Actually, the first series that came to mind was Bill Willingham's 2002 series Fables. His idea of fairy tale characters all living together in one burrow was quite a clever and innovative concept, but a quick search on eBay showed me that this series was far from qualifying as a wreck, with the first issue fetching between $100 to $200 in very fine to near mint condition. That's not bad for a comic that's almost 20 years old. However, there is another series created by a different writer that is a masterclass in world building, which is 25 years old, but technically does qualify as a wreck. And that series is Kurt Busiek's Astro City, which debuted in 1995 and was published by Image Comics. Now in 1997, the series restarted as Volume 2, published under Jim Lee's Homage Comics, and that's the copy I have. Homage later became Wildstorm. Wildstorm was acquired by DC Comics, and then Astro City was published under DC's Vertigo imprint. What's interesting, though, is that Busiek has retained the rights the entire time. So he actually owns the intellectual property that is Astro City, and he may port it to a different publisher in the near future, as his series is actually still ongoing. To be honest, I was actually shocked that a mere near-mint copy of the original 1995 Origin issue from Image can still be had for less than $20. As I said, I own the Homage first issue, which is even cheaper. But if I had to bet on this series, I would definitely be picking up the original 1995 debut as my speculation of choice. Why? Astro City has some definite upsides. First of all, in 2018, Fremantle North America, the same studio behind the American Gods series, obtained the rights to Astro City. So it's quite reasonable to expect something to be hitting the screen sooner or later. Next, Kurt Busiek himself is a highly decorated writer who collects Eisner and Harvey Awards the same way his fans collect his comics. The bottom line is, if you enjoy Bronze Age superhero comics, there's nothing not to like about Astro City. It's everything you could ask for in a constructive superhero genre, and then some. It's an amazingly well-crafted and heartfelt letter, to be sure, but like all love letters, there's usually an intended recipient. And I think it's guys like me that Busiek's books truly resonate with. Fans who are enjoying comics long before Alan Moore's Watchmen tossed the tried and true superhero genre off of a 50th floor balcony. So perhaps therein lies the problem. Is it too specific of an audience? Does the public have superhero fatigue? Has Disney's Marvelverse and DC already supersaturated the public's appetite for superheroes? Has it all been done before? Oh, and by the way, damn you, Ozymandias. So sure, Astro City may not be everyone's cup of tea, but that cup of tea comes in over 2,000 familiar flavors with a quality that is somehow both familiar and undeniable. So while I can easily see the potential of Giga, I can also see how it might be a dollar bin comic in 6 months' time. Can I say the same about Astro City, especially issue number 1 from Image? No. Like Samaritan spotting a faltering passenger plane overhead, I honestly believe that this issue has nowhere to go but up. Honestly, it's just too darn good not to. Now sure, Giga might surprise me. It might knock it out of the park in the issues 3, 4, and 5. It might be optioned by a major movie studio, and I hope it is. But even if it does fall by the wayside, I still appreciate what Packnadell is trying to do, and I applaud him for it. He's writing science fiction in comic book form here. And holy cow, this cover B here still makes me smile. So Giga is doing it right for now, but it's hard to deny the award-winning history of Astro City with the sheer expanse of its 100-plus issues. You can say it's a dated property, or maybe it's it appeals more to a time gone by, but I think there's a place for it, and I think that its time will come. So sorry, Giant Robot fans. The Wreck's going to take this one this week, but like I said, we'll see in weeks to come. So thanks very much. If you guys have any wrecks you can think of, feel free to comment. Like, there's a good chance I might own it in my collection. So I will definitely do some more comparisons in the weeks to come. I'm just waiting for my new comics to arrive. I tend to have them shipped as opposed to going to my local comic shop. But yeah, I've got definitely some ones to look forward here in the next coming days, and I think it'll be very exciting. I'll try and reach deep into the bucket and get those long shots, things that nobody is specking on, that I think might do well. But again, like I said, time will tell. We'll re-examine in the months to come. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.